Right, so this is the content in the box. Some instructions. I'll take it specifically for the Audi Q5. Some CarPlay instructions. This is the box. So I'll try to do this with one hand. Jumper settings. You can adjust those. Connections on the back. Alright, so that's that. That's all the cables I needed. Okay. That's the adapter. Wireless CarPlay as well. Right, that all looks like it might be. Let's just have a look and try and get this out. Right, let's do this. Okay, so I've got these keys, removal keys. They push in into those there. Yeah, and that does pull the unit out. There's a cable at the front, just underneath. I'm going to have to undo that. Not sure I can do this whilst holding on. Okay guys, right, this is the back of the unit. So I pulled it out using those things. This is on the bottom front of the unit, down there. That's holding it in. And then you've got all these connections. You push them in. They've all got little squeeze tabs to help you remove. That's the quad lock. There's a little clip that it raises up, and that's the optic fibre cable there. So they all plug into the back of this. So it's meant to be plug and play. So we'll have a look at what our loom has got, which is this one, Wi-Fi antenna, and this one here. Right, so I'll have a look at the instructions. I think this is mainly for as USB there, and rear view camera if you've got one. Right, let's see, have a quick look at the instructions and we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, this is the loom that came with the CarPlay. So this is the piggyback. So this now plugs into the original head unit there. Yep, here's that way round. Pushes in. Right, I have to use two hands here. Be back in a minute. Okay, so that's the loom plugged into the back of the new loom plugged into the back of the original head unit. Now this is the thermostat housing. No screws are holding that in, so you just pull that forward. They're sort of clipped in here. On the back of this, see these two connections? There's these little red clips. Now if you lever those up, it's hard to do in film. They come up like that, and you can push down on the black clip, and that will pop out. He says, once again, two hands. Okay, so once you've unclipped that, this is from the other part of the new loom that comes with it. That clip from the car plugs into this female piece, and then on the other end of that plugs into the back of the thermostat housing. Right, so let's do that. So that goes in there, clicks, and then this piece piggybacks into there. Let me put 2 feet fingers and click that back in. Okay guys, right, so that's clipped in to the thermostat housing. This is the CarPlay box module, whatever it is. So you've got one of these cables which has got one and then splits into two. So this piece, this end here, plugs into there. Sorry, plugs into that bit. And then one piece is the female for the original cable, the grey one. That goes up to the screen, I think. That's the VCDS. And then the other end plugs into the back, the original head unit, into the grey one there. So let's connect that cable now. Okay, continue on from there. So it's plugged into there. One end plugs into the original unit. The other one goes into the cable that was plugged into it. So that's that, the LVDS. Right, let's see what's next. Okay guys, right, so this came with the pack. This is the Wi-Fi antenna, so you get wireless CarPlay. This connects onto the RF cable from the mini box. I'll call it the mini box, the CarPlay box. So that connects onto there. This needs to go somewhere. I'll probably end up sticking it up behind the side and feeding a cable through here. The mini box is going to hopefully sit at the back underneath there. Out the way, it's only small. And then it's just connecting the cables. This cable also came with it with a USB on. I suppose if you want to hardwire your phone via USB, it'll go in there, but that plugs in into the back of here. That cable there. So that's, if you've got a camera as well, that would connect to that. So let's try and route this Wi-Fi antenna cable through, and then it's a case of just plugging everything back into this box. There's this cable off the main loom from there. That obviously plugs in that CAN connection there. That looks like an HDMI in. Okay, I don't know what that's for. Right, okay, and then you've got your toggle switches to set up depending on what car you've got. So I'll have a look on that in a minute and set that up for this car. So, and then the original, these, I think these all go back to the original. That one there, that yellow one there, can plug back into the head unit, and that must be an antenna, I think. And that GPS antenna, and that can plug back onto the original, that one, and that one just go back into the original head unit. Right, so that's all that pushed back in. Let's try and find some room for this Wi-Fi antenna and somewhere to put this box out the back so you don't see it. Make sure it's all plugged in, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, right, I fed the Wi-Fi antenna. Look at a bit of trim. I don't know if you can see that bit of light down the bottom. Well, I fed the cable through there, which is down the back under this bit of trim, and then I've fed the Wi-Fi antenna, and I've just placed it up underneath this bit of trim. So I'll try and get it out again. It's got sticky on it, so it depends where you want to stick it, but I think it sits there fine. As long as that doesn't rattle around. If it does, I'll have to stick it somewhere, probably behind here, but it's completely out the way. So this is the cable now, so I'll just plug that in. There's plenty of room in there. I'll go and get a torch. Okay, I'll show you what's in there. If you can see down there, that's what fed the cable right down the back there. But I'm hoping the little media box should fit in there, in that area down there. I'll give it a dust out. The car gets so dusty. Right, I'll sort that out. Okay guys, I'm on the last hurdle now. Fed through the cables. The USB I've got down here as well, down the bottom of the glove box. I can pull that up if I want. So all that's left, that's the optic cable. That's the quad lock that logs into this one here. original yellow cable goes back onto the original head unit, and I take it that's a GPS antenna, connects back to that, and this cable goes on the front at the bottom of this unit, just under here somewhere. So once that's all plugged in, there's not much room, so I'm going to have to sort of plug it in situ there, and then try it, see what happens, and we'll go from there. Let's give this a go. Okay, so all the cables are plugged in. That one's not needed. I'm going to have a bit of trouble pushing all that back down in a minute, so I might have to rearrange all the cables, but let's just see if it works. Right, I've got to take it out of gear, so I've got to go and change. Right, let's try it. So it's turned it on. It says to hold down nav 3 seconds. There you go. Okay, let's try and get my phone into CarPlay. Okay guys, finally got it in. It's a bit of a tight fit, pushing this back with all the cables and the quad lock behind. It's a bit of a case of pushing it back in and easing it in at the same time. I did try to take the glove box off to try and get my hand behind to feed the wires as I was pushing in, but that's mission impossible at the minute. I found 6 screws and I still couldn't find a way of getting it out. But it all works off of the dial. You can see I'm using the dial. To go about. All works. Push down. The Wi-Fi antenna is working fine. Where I put it, it's behind this panel down here. You can see the USB lead sticking out there if I wanted a hard wire or plug a USB device in. Well, return button takes it back out. All works. Ways. There you go. That works. Position. Pause there. Wallpapers, whatever you want. You can move this over to that side in the settings, so